Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to build a garden. We're going to put a bridge in across this little area of water here in stone, and also next to it we're going to put a little bridge with lily pads. We're going to have an outdoor picnic area, and we're also going to have a little platform where we can sit down and watch the world go by. To start off with, we're just going to build a simple bridge across, and what I want to do is I want to put a tropical fish pond in so that you can see the fish when you're walking across the lily pads. But I don't want the fish to escape. I still want the bridge to look like a bridge and not a complete solid. I want the water to flow through. So what I've done is I've taken some steps and I've created like a window. I've used 4 steps, 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top, and I've placed them so that there's a little window in the middle where the water flows through. And in the areas where I haven't got the steps, I've put a solid block and I've hidden that with the wall blocks. So it looks like there's pillars holding the bridge up. There we go, that's how it's worked out, see? So there's a pillar in the gap, and then you've got the 2 windows where the water flows. Now with the bridge, we're just going to mix up some andesite, some cracked brick, stone brick, and some moss covered stone brick, and I'm going to use the stone brick walling, moss covered and stone brick. And for the steps I'm going to use a mixture of moss covered cobblestone, stone brick and moss covered stone brick. Going to bring the walls up at the side of the steps, so that we're always 1 brick high. We're just going to mix everything up. The steps are more important than the actual platform of the bridge itself and the little courtyard at the top. The reason being is because we're going to put some pressure plates down to mix things up a bit later. So here we go with the little platform, the little courtyard at the top. Shush, Poppy. And we just mix up the blocks. And like I said, we're going to put some pressure plates down afterwards to add a little bit more interest. Right, now for a bit of pathway. I chose this area next to a little waterfall. I increased the flow of the little waterfall a little bit more to make it look a bit better, and because there was like only a short crossing over the water and yet a nice elevation for the steps. Obviously you take my ideas and you make them fit into your landscape. So there we go, those are the steps and the little bridge, and now we're going to pop in some pressure plates. Now I'm using stone pressure plate, cherry wood and mangrove wood. I find the mangrove wood goes really well with the cherry wood. I think the mixture of the mangrove, the cherry and the stone work really well. So now we've got not only colour differences and brick differences, but we've got height differences. And now for the mangrove wood stairway. And I'm going to border the stairway with cherry wood trapdoors. Now here where I've put this trapdoor, you may have a large platform. It might be more tiered than what mine is. Mine's more of a straight stairway, but you may have a tiered garden, in which case you might want to leave a trapdoor on the tiers so that you can go and walk around the garden as you're going up. But seeing as I haven't really got a large flat space to walk around, I've just gone straight up with the trapdoors. And there's my lily pads. And now for the tropical fish pond. Pop some coral around, mix it up, all different colours. And then the magical bone meal, which is fantastic, just to push some grass underneath. Now here I'm using a dark blue glass pane because we don't want the tropical fish to swim away. They're going to try and escape via the waterfall, but if we can stop them from escaping the pond itself, then that's great. Some sugar cane. Look, they're off already. Up the waterfall. And now I'm going to put some ferns and some flowers in, some tall flowers. So just mix up whatever colours you want, really. I'm going to pop some of those pink roses in at the top. I'm going to go for more of a pinky mauvey colour scheme. And some lights for the bridge that we can see at night. Now I'm going to put some benches in, and I want them to have cushions on them, and I want the cushions to be coloured. And in order for the cushions to stay coloured, you have to have a light source underneath. So I've gone down 2 blocks and put the sea lanterns in, and then I'll put the banners on top, and then on top of that I'll put the seat. So I've gone for a dark pink banner, and I've gone for the cherry wood half blocks for the seat, or the cherry wood slabs. So there goes in the lanterns, then the banners, and then the seats. Now if you didn't put the lanterns in, the banners would turn black because there'd be no light source. And now for a light source underneath the actual flow of the waterfall. If you've noticed, I've put the flowers in down the side of the waterfall. And I've also put my trapdoors down the side, because when I put these cucumbers in, I'm going to have to add extra water in the flowing water to light them up. So I wanted a barrier to stop water from flowing out over my garden. And again with the bone meal to give a more natural wild flowers around the outside. And the bone meal again to push the trees. Now when you put the trees up, if you put them too close to another one, you will get a gap, so you need to fill them in and try and make them look as natural as possible. Right, picnic area. And again I'm going to use the light source underneath. In go the banners. I'm going to use a grey seat this time. So a polished stone slab. going to use a trapdoor for the back, so I'm going to have to make a gap here. There we go. And then I'm going to use the mangrove wood signs as armrests. They just like cool armchairs, don't they? I'm going to pop some of those flowers around because I find them really light and bright. And here we go, here's our garden. There's our tropical fish pond with all our fish escaping up the waterfall. There's our tiered garden, and we can cross over the lily pads and up the stairs. There's our bridge with our windows in it underneath so that the fish can't escape. And our pressure pads, plates to make it look a little bit more interesting. Our bench seats. It's quite nice, isn't it? I could sit up here in an afternoon, have a cup of tea. And now for the fire pit picnic area. I could spend many an evening up here chatting and roasting marshmallows. I think it's lovely. Thank you everybody for watching. It's been a pleasure having you back. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you again soon. Take care everyone. Bye bye.